Someone has completely disappeared from Coronation Street. Almost 2 decades have passed. And now fans are doing a double take after a shocking new appearance that hardly anyone saw coming. Because 19 years after leaving Weatherfield behind, one former Corrie star has returned to screens looking almost unrecognizable. But that's only part of the story. Because behind this dramatic transformation lies a role that is already sparking conversations, raising questions and placing the actor at the center of a dangerous new television mystery. And when fans finally realize who it is, they may be left completely stunned. For years, Coronation Street viewers watched countless characters come and go. Some departures were emotional. Some were heartbreaking. And some quietly faded into soap history. But every now and then, a familiar face unexpectedly reappears in the spotlight and reminds viewers just how much time has passed. This is one of those moments. Because a former Corrie star who left the cobbles nearly 2 decades ago is suddenly making headlines once again. Only this time many viewers might not even recognize him. The transformation is dramatic. The role is completely different. And the story surrounding it is becoming increasingly fascinating. But before we reveal exactly why fans are talking, another question begins to emerge. What happened after he left Coronation Street? Where did his journey take him? And how has he ended up at the center of one of Channel 4's most talked about new dramas? The answers reveal a remarkable twist. Many longtime Corrie fans will remember the character. A familiar presence from years gone by. A role that eventually disappeared from Weatherfield before later returning in a completely different form. When the character resurfaced years later, another actor stepped into the role and made it his own. Since then, viewers have become accustomed to seeing the newer version. The original portrayal gradually became a distant memory. At least until now. Because nearly 2 decades after his departure, the actor behind that original role has resurfaced in spectacular fashion. And his latest character couldn't be more different. Gone is the familiar soap identity. Gone is the look fans once knew. Instead, audiences are discovering a completely transformed performer embracing a bold new challenge. And that's where the real intrigue begins. Because his latest project isn't simply another television appearance. It's a drama filled with tension, conflict, danger, and a chilling warning about the world around us. A world where fear and division are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. The series is called Tiptoe. And from the moment viewers enter its unsettling world, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary drama. The story introduces 2 neighbors. 2 men who have lived side by side for years. People who should understand each other. People who should coexist peacefully. But something begins to change. Slowly at first. Then with terrifying speed. Misunderstandings grow. Opinions harden. Trust begins to crumble. And before long, relationships that once seemed stable start heading toward a devastating collision. But what exactly causes things to spiral so dramatically? That's one of the mysteries at the heart of the story. Because beneath the surface lies something far more sinister. Something that feels uncomfortably close to reality. As tensions rise, words become weapons. Small disagreements evolve into dangerous conflicts. And the atmosphere becomes increasingly explosive. Viewers quickly realize that nobody is entirely safe. Nobody is entirely innocent. And nobody can predict how far events might go. But while the show's central conflict is attracting plenty of attention, another storyline is generating just as much discussion. One involving the former Corrie star himself. Because his character is living a complicated double life. By day he appears to be an ordinary teacher. Respectable. Professional. Trusted. But when night falls, a completely different side emerges. A side hidden from many of the people around him. A side that could place everything he has worked for in jeopardy. As Regime, he steps into the spotlight as a drag queen DJ. A performer with confidence, creativity and passion. Someone embracing an entirely different identity after dark. For a while, both worlds seem capable of existing side by side. But secrets rarely stay hidden forever. And in a drama built on tension and suspicion, keeping 2 lives separate becomes increasingly difficult. The risk grows. The pressure mounts. And viewers begin wondering the same thing. How long can the truth remain concealed? What happens if those worlds collide? And what will the consequences be if his secret is exposed? Those questions create a powerful layer of suspense that runs throughout the series. Yet even that is only part of a much bigger picture. Because Tiptoe isn't simply focused on personal secrets. It's tackling issues that many viewers recognize from everyday life. Fear, division, prejudice, and the growing hostility that can emerge when people stop listening to one another. The story examines how ordinary situations can evolve into extraordinary dangers, how disagreements can escalate, how mistrust can spread, and how quickly communities can fracture when fear begins taking control. The result is a thriller that feels increasingly relevant, increasingly unsettling, and increasingly difficult to ignore. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of all is how passionately the cast felt about bringing the story to life. One of the series' biggest stars, Alum, has openly spoken about why the project mattered so much to him. And his comments reveal just how serious the show's message really is. According to Alum, he didn't need much convincing. In fact, he was eager to become involved before even reading the completed script. Why? Because he immediately recognized how important the story could be. He saw a warning, a reflection of modern society, a reminder of the dangerous direction that hatred and violence can sometimes take. Those concerns struck a powerful emotional chord. And the more he learned about the project, the more convinced he became that audiences needed to hear its message. His comments paint a troubling picture. One where hostility is becoming normalized. One where anger increasingly dominates public conversations. One where people find themselves divided by fear and suspicion. And while the drama itself remains fictional, the themes feel startlingly real. Perhaps that's why the series has generated such strong reactions. Because viewers aren't simply watching characters face conflict. They're confronting issues that exist beyond television screens. Issues that continue affecting people every day. But as audiences continue discovering the series, another question has quietly started spreading among fans. What happens next? Will there be another season? Will these characters return? Will the story continue? It's a question many viewers are already asking, especially after investing themselves emotionally in the drama's tense and unpredictable world. Unfortunately, the answer remains frustratingly unclear. Despite growing interest in the show, there has been no official confirmation regarding a future season. No announcement. No renewal. No clear indication of what lies ahead. And that uncertainty has only fueled even more speculation. Could discussions already be happening behind the scenes? Could producers be waiting to assess audience reaction? Or could the story remain unfinished, leaving fans forever wondering what might have happened next? At this stage, nobody knows for certain. And that lingering mystery has become part of the conversation surrounding the series. But perhaps the biggest surprise remains the one that started it all. The remarkable transformation of a former Coronation Street star. A familiar face who vanished from Weatherfield years ago. A performer many fans believed they'd never see connected to the soap again. And yet here he is, almost 2 decades later, playing one of the most unexpected roles of his career, looking completely different, embracing a bold new challenge, and proving that life after Coronation Street can take some truly surprising turns. But if one thing is becoming increasingly clear, this story isn't just about a television role. It's about reinvention. It's about transformation. And it's about how quickly everything can change when opportunity arrives in the most unexpected form. Because while Corrie fans are still adjusting to this astonishing new look, another mystery remains unsolved. Will Tiptoe return? Will audiences get another chapter? And could this dramatic new role become the beginning of an entirely new television success story? Right now, nobody has the answers. But if the reaction so far is any indication, this may be only the beginning. And when the next announcement finally arrives, fans could be in for another very big surprise.